Uh, let's try this again.
That's right. Don't blame yourself. Blame me.
Okay, there we go. Now it's working, and people are starting to file in. So let me give the introduction real quick so I can get these guys in here. What's up, everybody? Micah Curtis here, head of Sleeveless Comics, and the guy who is to blame for everything. But I am not alone. I'm very much not alone. I have a couple of amigos here. First off, a man who some of you know through reputation because his colors on 3 Nights, 4 Days were fucking phenomenal. Oliver Liarce. What's going on, dude?
How's it going, gang?
I'm good, man.
What happened? Technical difficulties?
Yes, I'm actually using StreamYards like this, so this will be interesting. And then we got Happy Harry. Jump off guard. That's what I do. What's going on, man?
What's up, Micah? Long time. When did I last talk to you? Oh, when Oliver was getting shot at, I think. that was the last time I talked to you.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. All right.
Cool. Thank you so much for having us on. This is awesome.
I'm very happy to. I've been very interested in this book, for sure. I don't know if anybody else will be coming in tonight, but I'll be ready when they do. At least I think. Okay. So let's see who's in the chat so far. We got Sultan Al Fahim, Exeter GTZ, Hardboiled Entertainment. He says he's loving 3 Nights, 4 Days so far. I guess he already got his in.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because we just started fulfillment a week and a half ago, I think. So nice. I can never keep a track of time these days. Genghis Khan is here. Chunky is here. Servant is God. Montanui as well. Brainbox as SGD is here as well, alongside Angry Green Boss and Son of the Dragon. Awesome. Good to see you guys here. So we got some horror to talk about today, apparently.
Hell yeah.
Which I'm excited about because Oliver especially knows I love horror. I'd like to think I'm pretty good at it too, but it's not mine tonight. Tonight we've got the Cryptidnals Cryptidnals. Okay, got it right. Let me just say this. I love the premise of this book. I could not get the spelling right for like the life of me until I'm like, wait, no, not Cryptidnals, Cryptid. There's a D in there. And then I could finally find the damn book on Indiegogo. So,
dude, at least you got it right. Preston can't pronounce that.
I know, man. He can't pronounce it.
Well, he's got an excuse though. He's not the writer. He's like he could just ask me to do it.
Crypticals.
He's got the excuse of like I'll just draw pretty pictures. I don't pronounce things.
I'll draw monsters. That's right.
Well, he's damn good at it. That's for sure. So let's go ahead and get right down to brass tacks then. Well, actually, why don't you guys give yourselves as an introduction? Tell the people out there a little bit about 656 Studios.
Sure, man. My name is Oliver Liarce. I'm colorist, illustrator for 656 Studios. We've been doing indie comics, self-publishing for more than 20 years now in Mexico, and we're like barely like crossing over the border legally, of course. So yeah, we're trying to get into the U.S. market now. So and apparently it's working, man. Thanks to you guys.
Well, I'm definitely glad to have you dudes for sure. I mean, I think the last book that I saw you guys had done was Undead Border, Escape or Die, and now
we have it here actually, already fulfilled.
Yep, so I love that Preston cover. I'm a little biased, but yeah, it looks fantastic.
We are going to launch a second chance campaign later on, hopefully late July.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna do that.
Well, I will definitely have to snatch that up then, because I forgot to the first time. You guys started fulfilling it. I'm like, no! I have that problem. I need to start putting things on my calendar, like, do this by this day. So
it happens, man. It happens. I forget what day it is. I thought this was Wednesday today, and it's actually Thursday. I was legitimately like convinced it was Wednesday. I was like, wait, what?
yeah,
Thursday.
I'm the exact same way. Like I have a podcast on Friday, and it's suddenly the end of the week is here. It's like it's Friday. Oh shit, it's Friday. I got shit to do. I spend so much time writing these days. I just lose track of it. All I've got in my brain are scripts, not days of the week.
Oh man, I can feel you on that, man. I got a bunch of stuff in my head too that, from one writer to another, it's just like it jumbles up, and I don't know where to start. Like the priority right now, of course, is the Cryptidnals. I need to finish that up because the issue 4, the script for issue 4 is still being tightened up. But there's so much other stuff that's going on as well. But yeah, man, like it gets crazy after a while.
Oh yeah, because I remember a friend of mine who's a pastor. He goes, Mike, I haven't seen you at church in a while, and this is while I was writing like 4 scripts at once. I was writing the next Englewood book. I was writing 3 Nights Part 2, which basically Oliver and I are waiting for Preston to say, okay, I'm ready, and then we'll get started on that, I guess. The script has been done, and then I was also doing concept for a mecha book that I'm doing with Xavier from Grade Point 5, and then another book on top of that, which is a vampire book that I'm doing with Bogdan Digital Art. And we'll talk about him a little bit later too, but because he's a very, very phenomenal artist from Romania. So doing a vampire book with a Romanian artist, I don't know if I can get any more typical.
That's like legit right there, man. Like
yeah. So let's get straight to the book. Let's see if I remember how to use this program. I haven't used StreamYards in so long. I mostly use OBS, but that's mostly because I'm doing a lot of solo stuff these days. So let's pull up the Cryptidnals here.
There you go.
So, monsters of myth confront dark cyberspace entities known as tulpas. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, tulpas. Yes, sir.
Okay. If I try to say anything in Spanish and I screw it up, you gentlemen are more than happy to roast me, more than welcome to roast me for it.
It doesn't even matter, man, because these guys like shoot me down on my Spanish all day long.
But is tulpa a Spanish word, Ray?
I'm not sure. Tulpa, I believe is man, what's the Latin? Maybe, perhaps. I don't know. You want me to look it up while we're here?
I got you. Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
Tulpa.
Like I never really looked up. I mean, I know what it means, but I never really looked up the origin of the word. So. Okay,
so according to Wikipedia, it's a concept in mysticism and the paranormal of a being or object which is created through spiritual or mental powers. Now, let's see if it can. But it's part of the series on Tibetan Buddhism.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with Latin, it looks like. So fair enough. Any Latin-based language out the window. Fair enough. I can roll with that. So a secret war of monsters is about to begin. Tell me about while I scroll through this here. What is the premise of this book?
Go ahead, Ray.
So I'm sorry, it's because it keeps cutting out. I'm good. So the premise of the book is there's cryptids in the world that everybody loves, everybody knows. Of course, the standbys: Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, all the ones that we are familiar with. But we delve a little bit deeper into the world of the cryptids by using some that are a little bit more obscure and bring them to the forefront because I like them because they're badass, and I think that they should be showcased a little bit more. So we got Spring Hill Jack. We have the we have the Mothman right there in that picture, but we have Spring Hill Jack, La Llorona, Kid Cthulhu, the Man Dog, which is it's a local legend, not to be confused with the Dog Man, the Michigan Dog Man. We have the Goat Man, the Denton, Texas Goat Man. We got Rougarous, we got werewolves, we got vampires, Nosferatus, a bunch of different stuff. And these are cryptids that we're familiar with. And they are the only line of defense between this reality and otherworldly evil. And otherworldly evil, without giving away too much, which I mean everyone can pretty much guess at what it is things that are invading the world now. And we go to cyberspace for that. In the last 30 years, there's been an influx of these creatures or these ideas that have been invading people's dreams. The black-eyed kids, the rake, and of course good old Slender Man. But I always thought Slender Man was kind of boring because he was just some dude in the three-piece suit standing in the woods. So
Yeah.
we did a little bit of research and we found out about El Ñango. And El Ñango means the lanky one or the really thin one. And that's the big bad in the book. El Ñango, which is our iteration of the Slender Man. He's the one it's the one that's behind everything that's going on right now. As far as this creepypasta, influx coming into our world, people are starting to murder each other because this thing is like telling people what to do. The rake sightings, the black-eyed kid sightings, even Jeff the Killer, stuff like that. Those are the new monsters that are coming up, and the cryptids are aware or are starting to become aware of this, and they're like, well, we're here first, and we're more, I guess, bonded to the earth than these things are. These things don't even belong to this plane of existence, and so they're the only ones that are able to prevent this complete and utter annihilation of this reality by these things, or at least they're going to try to once they start finding out what's going on. And you can see in this picture right here, or this image, El Ñango's in the background, and he has his legion of black-eyed kids, serving him, doing whatever it is that he wants. And this also, we dive into the whole lore of cryptids as far as, the ones that we know, the ones that we're familiar with. And I tried really hard to derive like events from reality, to pluck them out of stuff that we've heard, stuff that we've seen, books that I've read, YouTube, of course, all that other good stuff, these sightings of these monsters, and put them into the book, the events that actually were documented or happened. And that's how the whole story starts shaping up as to where the cryptids are coming from and what these things are doing here.
That's pretty cool. So basically, to sum it up, it's almost like a monster turf war.
Yes, it's kind of like a monster turf war, but it's very heavy on the horror aspect of it. I wanted to get away from the team book, even though it does seem like a team book, and do more horror than anything else. And I wanted it to be very creepy, very unsettling, disturbing type horror, which is a little bit more difficult to write than regular, slasher horror type stuff. Yeah. And that's what I want. I wanted this book to carry that theme and that atmosphere, and I think Dario is delivering on that promise. Because these images are just creepy as fuck, man. These things are nasty, and Dario,
this right here gives me a real Children of the Damned vibe.
There you go.
Which, like that. Funny thing is, I've never actually finished Children of the Damned. Like, I don't know why. I've just never sat down and like finished it. I watched like half of it on TNT back when I was like 14, which I hate to admit is a lot longer ago than I. Yeah, listen.
I remember that, man. It was Monster Vision. They would always show it on Monster Vision.
Yeah, that's that. Oddly enough, it's Monster Vision that introduced me to anime because they aired Vampire Hunter D.
Yes,
of all things, exactly. The original on there. The only thing that they did was they cut out the nudity, and I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?" So, and now I'm addicted to it. I mean, I've still got my Guts poster in the background. So
nice.
I am now with Miura passing, that thing is never coming down ever. So I'm just hoping that none of the other artists behind me bite the dust either, because that one's Jim Starlin, and then I've got
here.
Knock
on wood, man.
I know. And then I forget, why am I forgetting the creator of Beta Ray Bill? Walt Simonson.
Oh, Simonson, yes.
Yeah, and I hate that they're both getting older. I'm like, stop getting older.
Did you by chance see that? I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but did you by chance see that they recolored the covers to Inferno with X Factor, the ones that Simonson was drawing during the Inferno crossover? They recolored them and they put them all together. And I just saw this and I was like, holy crap, they're connecting covers.
Shit, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, this was back in the 80s, and I'm like, holy crap, these were connecting covers. And like it just completely flew by the radar, and these are like what, 30 years old, 30 years, 35 plus that's happened. So I was like, holy crap, I need to get those reprints or those reissues.
Yeah, seeing here, holy shit. Like I'm curious who they got to do the recolors on it. Because that was always it's one of those things where people the most common thing people ask me about older comics, like, because I can't recommend anything new these days, but unless it's from the indie scene. And people always ask, it's like, well, what, like, would you ever want to see these redrawn? I'm like, repenciled? Never. Recolored? You could sell me on that, because modern coloring technique is so much different than the way that it used to be, you know. So back to the Cryptidnals, though. So how big is this book? 132 pages.
132 pages, but it might be more. it's just we just gotta fix on those page turners, man. Like Junji Ito, the page turn. So yeah, man. Every time that he brings pages, you know what? We should put in a extra page here, so the reveal could be more exciting once you turn the page, flip the page. So yeah, we're just tweaking a little bit, but it might be a little more than 132, maybe 4 more pages, 6 more pages.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So people are basically getting what amounts to a trade paperback for $25 plus shipping.
Yes,
sir.
Wow, that's that's really good. I mean, yeah, that's very good. Because for those of you out there, like, oftentimes trade paperbacks for this size sell for more than that. So this is a pretty epic book, to say the least. So written by Ray Ramos. And then we got Dario, who's going to be doing the illustrations on this. Oliver, where are you at with this book? Are you lettering?
I'm the letterer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got
and
Oliver
the colorist also.
Yeah, and I colored the variant covers too.
Oh, okay. Well, I know you're damn good at that. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Channeling the horror and macabre elements of Poe and Lovecraft. Me with the pronunciation again. I can actually pronounce macabre. I have so many people that will come up to me and be like, macabre. No, bad.
Yeah,
no.
I get confused too, man. Macabre.
Yeah, I had
in Spanish it's macabre, isn't it?
Macabro.
Macabro. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's kind of an excuse there, but I got goofy white kids from the Midwest whenever I'm telling them about horror, like they'll see that word, like, what's macabre? Like, my younger sister, who has more college education than I do, will mispronounce it. I'm like, how? But Poe and Lovecraft, you got me. So I'm hooked already. I love Poe. Awesome. I love Lovecraft. And the artistic stylings of Junji Ito and Gustav Doré. Now, I'm not familiar with Gustav Doré. What has he done before?
He used to do a lot of etchings. What was it, like turn of a century, right, Oliver? He did Dante's Inferno. He did the art for Dante's Inferno. If you type in Gustav Doré, you'll see immediately it'll pop up like a bunch of images from Dante's Inferno. And,
yes.
Yeah, Dario is really channeling that. And I don't know if you're familiar with Savage Sword of Conan back in the day. Ernie Chan. He's channeling a lot of Ernie Chan as well into these drawings, into his art.
Yeah. Doré. Now it's starting to click. Let me actually bring this up for the chat real quick, so that people can see what we're talking about. Because I couldn't put a name to the image.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna grab a couple of because his work was way ahead of its time.
He did a really epic piece on the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, I think.
Oh, that's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that. I think one of my favorites that he's done is this one of Lucifer in his armor.
Yes.
Where he's crying or leaning on the rock or something like that?
When he's leaning on the rock, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome too. Yeah.
That one, oddly enough, I was looking at a lot. I feel like an idiot for not putting a face to the name. A lot of the stuff I was looking at when I was writing Three Knights.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because the mythology in Three Knights is all based on Christian theology. So, which is, that's what I was educated in. So that was sort of where I pulled from, because that was what I went to school for, was theology. So,
wow.
All right, so people can see what we're talking about with Gustav Doré, because I love talking inspiration with people. Because I mean, it's just cool to find out where everybody comes from on stuff. This is the sort of stuff that we're talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
So this is Lucifer, the Fallen Angel. Like these are
fall.
classics. Here's the one that always it tells. So like I'm a big fan of a painting that tells or any illustration that tells a massive story without words. And this I think is this thing where he's clearly fallen from grace and he's still looking up at heaven and his wings have changed. It tells you so much in one image. And
he's saying, "What have I done? No, I made a huge tiny mistake.
Dad, did I screw up again?"
He's like, I didn't mean it. I was just messing around, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to overthrow heaven. I was just trying to get your car keys.
It was
I just want to borrow a car.
Oh shit! And then here's another great one.
Oh, yeah.
Like man, why do people who in the mainstream, why can't they get inspiration from this sort of stuff? I swear, man, nobody these days. This is the old man Micah talking. Why does nobody really understand where to get the inspiration from these
they're
days?
not exposed to it, man.
I know
or they don't seek out for it. No, they don't look out.
It's the passion, man. Honestly, that's what it is. They don't have the passion for it. The one I always bring up is Donny Cates because I hate Donny Cates, man. I cannot stand Donny Cates because he's a hack. Like the stuff that he writes about, he doesn't even know what came before. He's admitted it that I never read old comics. I'm all into the new stuff, stuff like that. And he just bothers the shit out of me, like honestly. So I'll just leave it at that. But
yeah, as his run on, because I'm a massive Venom fan. As his run has gone on, I have become more and more annoyed with it because he's trying to make Venom this cosmic sort of a character. Like he's supposed to be involved with stuff that like the Silver Surfer and all this other things. And I'm like, no, he's a reporter from San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's a monster book. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Because I was like I'm gonna do a Venom horror story. Awesome, I'm down because I loved like The Hunger back in the days and stuff like that. The one where he started
I remember
eating
those.
Yeah, and I'm like, now you're just gonna do like cosmic stuff. I'm like, what's next? Venom versus Cthulhu? Let's not do that. Like, come on. Like
I saw. Sorry to cut you off. I saw a story. I don't know when was it published, but it was Venom and Conan teaming up, and they're in Mexico.
Savage.
Did you see that one? The art is beautiful, but
Savage Avengers
lacked a bit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. And at the end, they eat tacos, so I don't know. I don't know about
what the hell?
Man,
there's a weird scene that there's this Mexican with a tractor in the middle of the road. I mean, okay, talk about being stereotyped.
Oh, no kidding.
It's in Mexico City. There's no way there's a tractor in the middle of the road. Well,
I was about to say, how did they make it any more stereotypical? Were Pentagon Jr. and Mystico like dancing in the background with like fucking mariachi hats on? Like what the hell?
Actually, Conan was in a wrestling match. He was watching a wrestler's fight, and he was criticizing him. Hey, that's not real combat.
I could see that though. Get Conan in a AAA show. That'd be interesting.
I guess he went to the wrong match. No, the early one.
It was the wrong Conan. Remember the Conan from the 90s? Conan or whatever his name was? Wasn't
yeah,
oh yeah. Wale.
Yeah,
He
remember that guy.
I think that he was the first one to be saying Viva la Raza in WCW back in the day. And then Eddie Guerrero picked it up and made it more popular because it's Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, because it's Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, that's true.
So
Eddie Guerrero's local, right?
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero was from Juarez. He was from his family still lives in El Paso.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah, his family still lives in El Paso. So.
Yeah, I was about to say he was
my lady's kind of related to them by marriage, but not really. So she doesn't really like me talking about that. So
oh wow,
okay, whatever.
That's neat though. I mean, yeah, I was always a big Eddie Guerrero fan, and I didn't even know like the history of his wrestling in Mexico. Apparently, like he started as like the invading American stereotype. I'm like, I mean, granted, he was paired with Art Barr, who's as pasty as I am, so like. I guess it makes sense, but I just saw this old footage of Eddie Guerrero with a shaved head. I'm like,
oh wow,
What are you doing?
Trying out gimmicks, huh?
I guess, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could talk old 90s luchador stuff all day because I was a huge WCW fan. I miss that stuff so much. Like there's never been anything like it since. So and now it's unfortunate because Eddie's gone. Ray is still around, but he's not like allowed to do all the crazy stuff he used to do. And then Chris Jericho's getting old and fat, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He's more interested in his band now than anything else, and
yeah, like I've seen some AEW footage of him. Like he's just like, oh, he does not look good. I'm like, can you even do the lion salt anymore? I don't want to find out. Don't want you breaking your neck.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
it'll disappoint you.
Yes. So let's get back to the comic here, so I don't depress myself too much. So let's go ahead and roll through what exactly we're seeing here. So we've got cover B from Raymond Gray and color by Oliver. So this is the Mothman, right?
yes, this was Raymond Gaze. He's working for IDW right now. He does a lot of work for The Last Ronin. He did a few variant covers for them and some other turtle books. And he lives in El Paso, and I was fortunate enough to ask him when he had a chance, and he drew this alternate cover for us. And I asked him, like, hey, man, this is what the book is about. He's like, can I draw the Mothman? I'm like, hell yeah. And he did this homage cover to X-Men 151, I believe, where Wolverine is crucified on the X. And this is the Mothman cover that he had handed to us.
This is awesome. I like this one quite a bit. And then we've got down here from Aurelio Mazzara, and then colored by Oliver. So what's the background on this one?
Aurelio, he's an artist. He's an Italian artist. He actually did work for Marvel, and he's still, like, I guess, working for them. He did some kid books. He did some filler stories, and I talked to him for a while. He's actually a good friend of mine, and I asked him, like, hey man, you want to do a cover for us too? And he's like, yeah, and tell me what you want. And I'm like, I want kind of like a sexy cover. Can you do that? So he did, Spring Hill Jack versus La Llorona with the El Ñango in the background.
Nice.
Yes, I'm sorry. And thank you so much for that. He was actually the concept artist for Psycho Gorman.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Have you seen that movie?
Oh gosh, it is. I know of it by reputation. I don't know if I've seen it.
It's fun, dude.
Like it's just the name sounds fun because I'm a gore hound. So as if Three Nights wasn't evidence enough.
Yeah.
It's actually there was stuff. Funny story. Preston and I were talking about where he's like, man, I think you're kind of taking it a little far at some points.
That's
Wow.
Because there was one part that he ended up changing, which I was fine with, where there's a scene early on where after the first night where they're hauling off bodies in carts, and one dude was actually supposed to have his head completely split in two down the middle, and his brain was exposed. Preston's like, I ain't doing that. Like, I'm like, hold up. I got the guy who's doing Doc Salem to say no. Like, what the fuck?
That's impressive right there.
Yeah. So
I guess he was triggered or something. He saw something like that in his youth.
He's gonna want to kick my ass if he sees it. Don't kick my ass, Preston. I want you to give me a tattoo when I come down to visit sometime. Because I love that he's getting into tattoo work now.
Yeah,
like,
his stuff is looking really good, man.
Yeah, he's awesome. But seriously, Preston, get ready for the next book. God, I know he's got a ton of stuff on it because you guys are still working on Six Gun too.
Yeah.
So, but so now we get to the pages themselves. So, just to rehash because my brain probably wasn't working at the time. I'm still actually waking up. I'm an overnight guy. So what exactly is it that brings these new monsters to Earth? You'd said it was done through cyberspace.
Yeah, in the trailer, you actually get a quick glimpse of that at the beginning. There's an image of the Smile Dog, and I don't know if you guys know about the story about the Smile Dog. It's like a cursed image that it's like a chain letter. It arrives in your mailbox, and you open it up, and there's a dog. And then it starts, as it progresses, the smile on it starts getting bigger and bigger until it shows up and it like pretty much kills you. And what you're supposed to do is pass on the email to somebody else, like the curse. You pass it on to somebody else, so that way they're the ones that have to deal with it, and it clears you out. So at the beginning of the trailer, they show we show some girls like playing with the Ouija board, and they're watching the Smile Dog and messing around the internet and stuff. And then all hell breaks loose, and these Bigfoot show up, and they just burst in through the room, through the whole house, and they carry these girls off into the woods. And once they carry them off into the woods, well, that's where Nyango lives, of course, and he begins to convert them into black-eyed kids. And it's all part of his plan, but I don't want to reveal too much, but it's part of his plan because he's trying to do something on this plane of existence. And if you want to play the trailer, I mean, of course.
Yeah, let's do that. I actually forgot to add the audio, so I'm like, wait, did I remember to do that? So give me 1 sec here, and we'll get this queued up.
No problem.
StreamYards, they need to correct that, man.
Yeah, I really wish, because once you have it up here, you can't just turn the audio on. Like, there's no on and off switch. Like, you can mute that tab or anything like that. It's just like you have to take it down, set it up again, and then put it all the way back up. It's like, come on, man. Like, let's make things a little easier for those of us who are old. So let's Oh, Adam Friended is streaming while I'm doing this. Fuck you, Adam. No, I'm kidding. But all right, so let's check this trailer out.
In the dark recesses of cyberspace exists nightmare fuel we take as fallacy. But these tales and images are cursed through the power of belief. Tulpas, sentient thought forms residing in between the abyss of life and death. Their endgame is to destroy the only reality they know, ours. Only darkness can vanquish darkness, more rapid than the radiance of light. Enter the Cryptidnals, mythical beasts of unearthly abilities whose existence has been criminalized by humanity. The first and only line of defense against the incursion of otherworldly evil. A secret war of monsters is about to begin.
I love your trailers. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Awesome.
Like
that's all my bros work. Dominic.
Man, I might have to ask him to do some stuff for me at some point, like because damn, I mean, I said the same thing with Undead Border because I saw that trailer. I'm like, holy shit! So, the Hardboiled Entertainment in the chat actually brings up. He says, "I hear power belief. I instantly think about Candyman." So that brings about the question: what's kind of the big inspirations? You know, we talked about Junji Ito, we talked about that sort of thing. What are other kind of inspirations that come into the writing of a book like this?
I mean, honestly, man, it's personal experience. As I've grown up, I have witnessed and experienced a lot of pretty effed up stuff, and I didn't really know how to process it at the time. And now looking back at it and realizing exactly what was happening, my family was pretty fucked up. And this is the result of it. They were into some stuff and I didn't realize it at the time. And now I'm like, holy crap, that's what they were doing. And it started off with when I was about 12 years old and I experienced what I can only describe as La Llorona. And, for everybody that doesn't know who La Llorona is, it's a myth. It's an urban myth and a cryptid as well that exists on the borderland, right on the border between Mexico and the U.S. It's always she's always connected to a river. She murdered her children in order to get the attention and the love of a man. And I know there was a movie a few years ago that dealt with her as well. It's in the Conjuring universe, I think. And when I was a kid, I experienced something that I can only say was La Llorona. I didn't see her, but I felt her and I heard her. And I think that's the big thing because whenever she appears, you hear the words mis hijos, which means my children, because she has guilt over drowning her children. Mm-hmm. So growing up, that triggered a bunch of stuff that just went on and on and on. I would witness shadow people. There was like an infestation at my parents' house when I was living there with my wife. When we first got together, she witnessed stuff. People that would go to my house, they witnessed, these shadow people as well. They were deathly afraid to go there after hours at night. And that just kind of got my wheels turning as to what's going on. And I started doing a lot of research into that, into the paranormal. And the cryptid aspect of it really piqued my interest. So I started, researching more and more on cryptids and local legends and things. That's where we got the man dog from. He's a local legend that we put in the book as well. And I just wanted to try and I guess deal with all that stuff, but at the same time give you a good story as to the stuff that I've experienced, and also the stuff that was really, really interesting to me as far as the paranormal and cryptids are. I've been working on this since like 2016, just gathering information, doing the research on it, pulling from reality all these events that have happened, that have been reported or have come out in books and stuff like that, just so I can give it that real world kind of grounding. And you can go back and do the research yourself and be like, wow, that actually did happen, or something like that did happen. There's a major event in the book that has always not so much bothered me, but I've always been kind of fascinated with it. And I put it in the book, and it's kind of like the catalyst that starts everything off in the Cryptidnals universe. And really quickly, back in the 70s, and you can look this up as well, back in the 70s, there was this incident that happened in New Mexico. And I don't know if you heard of it or not, but it's Dulce, New Mexico, and it's on this plateau called Sandia Plateau. And in Sandia Plateau, there was a secret military base, and it went very many levels underground, but the last few levels were referred to as Nightmare Hall. And in Nightmare Hall, there was an agreement between the U.S. government and aliens to allow the aliens to conduct experiments on kidnapped humans. And this is all, stuff that I found out. Something happened in the 70s where a firefight erupted between the military and these aliens. And they were fighting in Nightmare Hall, and the aliens were using like disintegration rays, and people were losing limbs and being disintegrated, and soldiers were dying and stuff. And they fought back the aliens from destroying or doing whatever it was that they were trying to do. And that always like really interested me, like what the hell happened there? And that's when I started, the gears started turning, and I'm like, wait, maybe something had to intervene, something that that was capable of stopping this from happening. And that's where the Cryptidnals sprung to life.
That's really intriguing. I really, really enjoy the old legends and stuff. This also kind of reminds me of the SCP Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have read that or not, but yeah, like that sort of idea of these monster legends. Like a lot of that stuff like is brought from old Lovecraft things and things like that. But even so, it's the ways that people are able to figure out these horrifying ideas. I've always been fascinated with it. So let's actually get to the tiers, because I'm hoping that now people out in the chat have gotten their wallets out. Hint, hint. Let's start with the featured tier. It's good that you guys have this. I know that John Malin, with the first Englewood book, got on my ass about not having a featured tier, to the point where we were in a group DM together. I had been on his show, and he's like, you need to set a featured tier, and he actually I was talking to somebody else in there. I don't remember who else it was. And John just goes, Micah, did you set a featured tier yet? No. Do it. So I did. So we got here the main cover of the book, plus cover B, plus cover C, plus a 6x9 sketch, bagged and boarded and shipped in a Gemini mailer. So all basically 3 copies of the book with all 3 covers, and then that additional sketch. Who is doing the sketches?
That would be Dario, the artist of the book. Yeah.
All right. So, and $80 plus shipping. Looking to go out in December of this year.
Hopefully.
So, hopefully around holiday season. So,
yes.
Good potential Christmas gift here, guys, for the horror hound in your family. In fact, if you get this particular one, you can give them one of the. You can keep the second or third cover. Give them the main one, or whichever you choose.
Exactly.
Now, quick question. It's not shown in the image here. Is the trade dress on the second and third cover, or are they virgin covers?
We haven't decided yet, but it points to having it a virgin cover.
Yeah, we're leaning towards the virgin cover because those images are just very impressive, especially that Mothman one. You know, everyone loves that. That they want posters of that image. So it's like, yeah, you know what? I think we're leaning towards that right now.
Hey man, posters are a surprisingly good seller. Trust me. I do it with every campaign now. Like it's like if I don't have a poster tier, I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? Like, how do I not have something? So yeah, people love them.
A question for you on that, Micah. When you do the poster tier, do you roll them or do you fold them when you ship them?
I roll them. I roll them and send them in tubes. People prefer to get them that way. They'll be like, yeah, it's going to cost a little bit more. I don't care, because a lot of people frame them like I do.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
So okay. I'm still supposed to be getting. I need to buy the wraparound cover for Englewood Book 1. I actually planned on getting it custom printed so I can put it on this wall here. So. Because I have like a bare wall, so it's like if I point the camera even a little bit this way, it's like, what the hell?
That's empty, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't look like with all the stuff behind me.
But it's you need something there.
Maybe I'll just like nail Spawn to the wall or something like. Al, you cover for me, buddy. But I don't know if you guys have even seen these yet. The
new tot.
Yeah, like they're insane.
Yeah, Ray got his.
Yeah, I got my set. I just haven't. I don't know where to put them. I got all three: the artist concept, the meathead one, and the original one. But I don't know where to put them. I don't have any shelving or anything up. And I'm the same way as you are. Like immediately to my left, like Serena's right there, and immediately to my right, there's a couch. So it just looks like I got stuff behind me. So.
And then we've got the main book. We mentioned that earlier. Comes with this main cover right here.
Yeah,
which is a very, very good. This is one thing I tell people whenever they come to me for advice on comics. I say your cover does not have to be complex. You know, as long as it's an image that sticks in your head, then you're good. That
was the idea behind this cover, because we were discussing it. Should we like have all the characters in the cover, kind of like an X-Men, Avengers team book? And we decided, no, let's do something more representative now, like the Bigfoot hand holding the Wendigo skull.
Yeah,
that explains, that gives away that there's a war of monsters. So I guess that's the idea there.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like an old movie poster. You know,
nice.
It's like when I had Vinny do that homage cover for 3 Nights, because the homage to John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness.
No, I love Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, and Vinny's like, do I need to put anything in the background? I'm like, I'm like, no, look at the original movie poster. The imagery you've got right there punches. Like, and this does the same thing. Optimus Deadpool's in the chat.
Hey, man.
What's going on, dude? Glad to hear about Optipop's Pops. His dad had a successful surgery, so
awesome.
And he's home now, which is
good to hear. Good to hear.
So we got the main cover, cover B and cover C. So basically, you guys have your choice of cover there. Tulpa Banter Pack, which is main cover and cover B. And then pack 2, which is cover 1, cover C. And then Cryptid Watcher, which gets you all 3 covers, does not have the sketch.
Yes. Oh, the sketch is an add-on too. So if you just want the book and sketch, you can get it too.
All right, fair enough. So that's another thing I always tell people to do is put in add-ons like that. People dig that, And then finally, you can actually get a page of the comic for $200. So artwork done on 11x17 opening board using black ink. So it's so not just pencils, it's inks on page 2.
Yes.
So this is something, guys. If you pick this up, which I always recommend to people, collect art. Like seriously, it's worth it. It's freaking cool. I know that the team at Graded are currently planning a death match over Preston's painting for Peregrine.
Oh shit! Really?
Oh man!
Yeah, because nobody bought it for some reason. I'm like, because like somebody told me it's like that's too pricey. I'm like, I tell you right now, if Preston, if all of us guys were at a conference, Preston's got his booth up and everything, within 20 minutes, that painting would sell for price. So yeah, needless to say, that's I was surprised nobody picked that up. So, but here, Preston's cover art did get sold. Do you
you just scroll down, dude. On
yeah. Here we
Yeah,
go.
so everybody who backs it are gonna be receiving these rewards absolutely free with your order. So you wanna tell about us, Ray?
Yes, of course. So these are the stretch goals that we had. We met the stretch goals. We surpassed the stretch goals. The first one is the Man Dog Unleashed, and it's kind of like a play on words, of course, because he's a dog. But it's gonna be the origin story of the Man Dog, drawn by David Olivares, who is also a friend of ours and a fellow artist. And it's been published through 6x6 Comics previously in other editions in Mexico, but this is the first time that it's collected into one book, and it actually is going to be a floppy sized comic. So, and it has the gorgeous Preston Acevedo cover, so that's going to accompany it as well. And then also we have the Cryptid Apocryphal, which is Dario's sketchbook, and that's where all his ideas, he put them on paper, and we're going to provide that so you can see his inner workings, his inner mind, the way it works. And that one's also going to be a floppy. And then we have the third stretch goal, which was this Monster Moments type field guide. Originally, we had Polaroids that were going to accompany the stretch goals, but we made it to the stretch goal, and then we found out that the prices had changed. So due to financial reasons, we had to pull it, but we didn't want to pull the experience, so we kept it in this manner. We're going to put all those Polaroids into one book. They're also going to come with a QR code for an MP3 that you can download, and it plays kind of along on the immersion of yourself into the Cryptidnals universe, into the world, by listening to these file type MP3s that describe the monster moments, which are the pictures that are included in the field guide. For example, someone caught a picture of a Bigfoot, and it's going to be an MP3 that accompanies it, and it kind of plays off of that whole coast to coast FM or AM radio program that used to go around, where people would call in and they describe their encounters. So it's going to kind of be like that.
Let's talk stretch goals here. So at 13K, which you've actually gone past, two-sided 6x9 mini print of cover A and cover B. And then once you guys hit 15K, which I have to refresh the page, see how close we are at this point. You also get a two-sided mini print of cover C and the Man Dog Unleashed alt cover. And I could tell a mile away that Oliver did the colors on this one. Yes. So if I couldn't tell at this point, there's something wrong with me.
By the way, at 15K, let me just add this. We have agreed that, and Serena has approved this as well. At 15K, I'm going to dress up like the Kool-Aid Man and crash through a wall.
Just don't pull a Shockmaster and trip through it.
Oh man, I gotta make it funny. I gotta sell it, so maybe I will fall. I don't know. As long as I don't kill myself. So.
Oh shit! All right, so we did sell a couple books. Now you're at $11,435 with 187 backers. So you have the death code for backers now. So
oh shit, it's true. 187 on undercover cop. I have some of the original art here, so we could show off.
Yeah, one sec here.
So you can see what you're getting.
By the way, at 200 backers, we are going to give away some more free artwork in a random backers package once we send it off. So we already have one at 100, and we're going to have another one at 200. So if you guys want some of this beautiful, beautiful art, it's going to be a sketch, of course, or I don't know what these guys decided on, but it's going to be Dario's original artwork as well.
Looks fantastic. So real quick, guys, if you haven't backed the book, Brainbox is putting the link in the chat. Actually, he just did it. So click on that link, head over the page, grab a copy. Again, it's over 100 pages, basically a trade paperback for $25. It's a hell of a deal. The comic book, black and white, in a very Junji Ito style of doing things. So if you like monsters, this is definitely the book for you. I think that goes without saying.
This is my favorite panel, by the way. Just love this.
That was your favorite panel?
Yes. Just the expression
the
on
Man Dog. Everybody's loving the Man Dog, man. That's like the breakout character. I compare him to Wolverine. He's kind of like the Wolverine of the group because we put him through the ringer, and I didn't realize how badly we put him through the ringer until Dario started handing in the pages, and I'm like, holy crap, I wrote that? Poor guy, man. I feel bad for him. But yeah.
But he didn't bitch like Preston. Tell them about the man dog, the story. That's a cool one. That's a cool story.
Really quickly. So everybody likes the man dog because, like I said, he's kind of Wolverine esque. This is based off of a true or not a true story, but a legend here in El Paso. Back in the 1800s, there was a salt war. There's some salt flats that are about 50 miles away from El Paso, and there was a little village that was right between the U.S. and Mexico, and they would use that village to transport the salt through trade to Mexico. And the landowners would use the villagers, to work, but they were treated really, really badly. So one day the villagers rose up and they started killing everybody that was involved with the salt trade. And the landowners were like, hey, call somebody. So they called the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers showed up, and it's the one and only time in recorded U.S. history that the Rangers were ever defeated in any sort of skirmish or battle. These villagers killed all the Rangers, cut them up into pieces, and threw them down a well. And the well still sits out there in San Elizario. And if you go out there, and I did, and you do some EVP sessions, you can actually hear, screams and stuff like that. It's crazy. The village shaman spared one of the Rangers and said, because of all the atrocities and cruelty that you've committed, you are damned to wander the earth forever, as a dog would wander, never finding a home. And the Ranger turned into this dog creature. And if you go out to San Elizario, you can see it like roaming around sometimes in the middle of the night. You'll see like this hunched over, like 6 to 7 foot tall thing that has a dog head just walking around. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. So we took that idea, and in the Cryptidnals, the man dog is actually seeking redemption for the sins that he committed. And he has these 2 spectral pistols. And the pistols, they contain bullets that can destroy anything supernatural. But each time that he uses one of those bullets, it renders him human for an hour. But the thing is, if he dies as a human, he is damned to hell for all eternity. So he can never find redemption. So it's kind of like a toss-up, like, oh, I have the power to destroy these things, but at the same time, I'll be destroying myself forever. So that's the man dog.
I like that trade-off quite a bit. I'm always in for a redemption story.
Mm-hmm.
So that and I can definitely see kind of a Wolverine influence there too. So, well, before
and he smokes, by the way.
Oh yes, bring back cigars in comics. Seriously.
Yeah, he smokes. Yeah, the man dog smokes.
It's like Logan can't smoke anymore. Nick Fury can't smoke anymore. Really? Come on, man. Like let people be adults in comic books. Like you're so worried about who they're fucking. Like, why don't you let them at least smoke? Like, come on.
Yeah, I miss that, man. I miss all that stuff. Like, remember the summer crossovers that they would have, the big events?
Yeah.
And now what's the big event this year at Marvel? We're having a dinner, and everyone's dressing up in their best and stuff.
Yeah.
The fashion show. It's like, oh man.
Good Lord. Well, before I let you guys go, because I'm going to do my little address the audience thing before I close the show tonight. Any other bits that we need to include about the Cryptidnals before I let you guys go?
We're about 12 days away or 10 days away from going to Man.
10 days.
So we're 10 days. So the variant covers are gonna go away too. So take advantage, guys. Get those covers.
There you go, guys. So yeah, once these guys go in demand, these sexy extra covers, it's Mothman, and these ladies, they go bye-bye. So definitely
they're gonna disappear like cryptids.
Yeah, just snatch those suckers up for sure. Anything else you guys can think of?
I just want to thank the fans that have got us this far. When we first started, we just wanted to, be able to produce the book and, be able to ship it off. We got a lot of love for Undead Border, which we're going to offer again in the Second Chance campaign. But this book right now, you guys have shown us, this community has shown us exactly what can be done in indie comics if you have the passion and the drive to do it, and if you believe in the project. So thank you so much for that, guys. And please keep following 656 Comics. We got a lot more stuff in store. The year isn't even over yet, and we still have more stuff that is gonna come up. So get ready for that.
All right, fellas. Well, guys, I definitely appreciate you guys coming on the program and hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I'm going to plug some other books, and then we'll be closing it out. So you guys have yourselves a great night.
Thank you so much, Micah. Appreciate it.
Have a
My
good
pleasure. I'll catch you guys later. All right. I love the guys at 656. I have a lot of fun with them. So yeah, Oliver, for those of you guys who don't know, is also the colorist on 3 Nights, 4 Days. That is actually in the fulfillment process right now. I'm excited to get that book out to you guys because I have, I worked obviously very hard on it. So did Oliver, so did Preston, Eric as well, and Hatman, who was the editor. We all put together a brilliant book. And if there's anybody in the chat who has not seen the physicals, I actually have one. I would have to get up and grab it, but I can show you guys before we take off today. But before we do that, there's some other campaigns that I wanted to talk about beforehand. One specifically that Oliver is on that has just gone in demand. It's from my buddy Brian Kriskow. I did not get the chance to have Brian on because I was kind of doing my own thing when it came to the comic book stuff. I wasn't really doing shows. Six Gun Gorilla, Cemetery Without Crosses. I have Six Gun Gorilla behind me, actually. Give me 1 second here. It's right here. I have the trade paperback. This is Long Days of Vengeance. And this is probably one of the best independent comics I've ever read in my lifetime. Brian even signed it for me, if it would stop flopping everywhere. This is an amazing book. Brian is a very, very good writer, where he basically is telling a story where the main character himself, the ape, does not talk. And it's a great sort of... This reminds me of like Image circa early 2000s, where Image was not producing stuff that was like stories about like fat lesbians that are diner waitresses. Like they're actually telling stories about interesting characters that you're not going to see from the big two. That's basically what Six Gun Gorilla is in a lot of ways. If you're a big Western fan, if you're a fan of like the Dollars trilogy, if you're a fan of Unforgiven, Tombstone, like this is a great book. So Cemetery Without Crosses is the next installment. Oliver is actually doing the colors on this one. So basically Brian has my team for 3 nights on it. Which is a great team to have, obviously. As you guys know, as you saw, Oliver's super chill dude, great to hang out with. Preston is too. Probably like the most relaxed experience that I've had working with comic book professionals so far. Though Brian and Armand are really chill too. They were just very nervous with the first book because it was their first rodeo. For Preston and Oliver, it wasn't. So Preston's even got this, he calls it a parody cover. Iron Maiden tribute. I want to say this is Somewhere Back in Time. Preston himself right back here. So I love this cover. I love that image. So here's the interiors. As you can see, the art looks very familiar. Preston and Oliver are an amazing, amazing, amazing team. I cannot wait to see this. And each of the previous add-ons previous issues are available as add-ons on this. One thing I would suggest, definitely snatch up this Preston Acevedo original art as well, because again, he's an amazing artist. So includes a digital deluxe pack, which has issues 1 through 7 on digital if you want it that way. Number 8 is the current issue. I'm actually going to need to pick this up because I haven't read it yet. And yeah, Six Gun Gorilla. Like seriously, you might be thinking to yourself, Micah, would I really enjoy a comic book about a gorilla with guns? Yes. Like seriously, this book's awesome. I don't know if I can praise it any higher. Like this is one of those that I read in one sitting. I don't often do that. There's only been a couple of like trade paperback size books that have come out of Comicsgate that I've read all the way through. It was this one and Xenotype. And I read it immediately, like all the way. Just one sitting. Boom. I didn't even realize what time it was. Great book. So back this one. Damn it. Turned into Vince McMahon here. Another one you need to back is Angel's Awakening. Their very own Daniel Parker. I resurrected this show to get this book rolling. That's how much I believe in Daniel. That's how much I believe in what he can do. I think he's got a great concept here. Psychics versus elementals with sexy ladies. I remember when Daniel actually first approached me with the concept for this book and asked me about it. I told him he's got a cool idea. I talked with him on how to redesign the original costume for Jessica Sawyer to kind of make it a little bit more iconic looking, make it a little bit more standout, little bit less whatchamacallit, less Black Widow looking, and he succeeded. It looks very different now, which is good because you want your heroes to be distinct. Art is also done by Bogdan Rizea, who's going to be working with me on The First Servant very soon. I need to finish the script for that one. Not quite ready to launch that one on Indiegogo yet. I always say that whenever I launch a book, the script has to be done, so that way people know that there's not going to be any delays there. So I've got about 50 pages left to do on First Servant. So Angel's Awakening. People are saying hit refresh real quick on a couple of these. What am I hitting refresh on? I think that's it's the same numbers. So definitely back those. And then finally, last but definitely not least, Englewood Book 2. So I actually need to pull up some images for you guys. We're going to be launching this the first week of July. So July the 4th is going to be Independence Day for us, for all of us here in America. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and launch Englewood Book 2. And I showed some of these pages off on the stream not too long ago. I'm going to show them off again. In my opinion, Armand has really stepped up his game with this particular book. So let me show you guys the chapter pages. At least two of them. And some of the actual pages. So basically, Englewood Book 2 is going to be a 66-page book. It's going to be pretty substantially large. People have been saying, basically, if you're going to be selling a comic book for $25, it needs to be bigger. It needs to be like trade paperback size, which I understand. So 66 pages plus some additional material. If we hit at least $30,000 on this campaign, we are definitely going to be adding the first book, the first issue to it. And if we get the chance to, we might actually remaster the colors on the original as well. We haven't decided, or Armand's done some of it, but we want to make sure that it's good to go by the time that we get there. So this is the chapter the page for chapter 2. And then of course, chapter 3 right here, these will be available as art prints for you guys who want them. So basically, they will be part of the Windy City special, plus, of course, able to add on to anything else if you want them. So, and there will be 3 6x9 prints for you guys who are interested in that. And then, of course, here are some of the interiors. This is actually for the latter half of the book, or the latter third of the book, I should say. Just shows the infiltration of Elijah into the building in which Carlos has been staying. So this is basically the beginning of the climax. So one thing I will freely admit is that, as you guys know, if you've read my stuff, I'm very big on crescendos. There's actually something I really enjoyed whenever I was a trumpet player, or whenever I played a brass instrument, because I also know how to play tuba and stuff like that, is I always liked starting with a softer sound and then crescendoing upwards towards something great, so that when that final noise is hitting, that whatever that sting is, whatever that musical sting is, when you hear it, it stays in your mind. So like one thing that we would do when I was in high school band is we would play the Top Gun theme fairly often. And there's a point in the song, it's like the last bit of it, where that main line, that da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, we would crescendo up to that first note the trumpets would end as, and it sounded fucking epic. That's how I like to write. Is I like to move towards this big boom at the end of the story, so that way whenever you close the book, and whether it ends with a cliffhanger ending for the next issue, or it ends like it ends the story, then you're left wanting more. And that's the goal as a writer, is you want people to constantly be coming back for what you're doing. So this definitely has some surprise motherfuckers energy to it, for sure. The mailing list is in the description, but I'm also going to put it in the chat here as well. Unless somebody else already did. No, they didn't. Okay. So I got it. There's also a fly buzzing around in here. I'm getting very angry at it. But so Englewood Book 2, if you sign up for the mailing list, what do you get? You might be asking yourself. Micah, what do I get? What do I get for my devotion to you? What do I get for signing up for this? Well, what I want to give you guys is obviously you're going to get 2 trading cards. I did mention that because we got over 100 signatures on the email list. We're gonna be giving that to you guys. But the other thing you get, we actually have a new cover artist on this book. It is the mighty Donald DeLay. But don't ask Donald about steak. Just don't. I largely agree with him on pineapple pizza, except for one place, and that's Little Caesars. Little Caesars is the only place I've eaten pineapple pizza or had like Hawaiian pizza where it tasted good. Everywhere else has just been trash. I literally like almost threw up the one that I ate on stream when I had Von Klaus and why am I forgetting his name? Cal Jameson. So anyway. So this is the cover by the mighty Donald DeLay. With the trade dress. So if you sign up on the mailing list, you will get a link to this. This will be a secret tier. Only people on the mailing list will get the link to it. Remember, if you sign up to the mailing list and you do not get the link, all you have to do is send us an email from that email address. Send it to Hatman. He will check to make sure that your email was on that list, and then he will send you the link to this. Excuse me. But yeah, you will get this cover in black and white. It's a beautiful cover. This will also be available as a poster. What we're going to be doing for the Windy City special, or one thing that I should actually mention now that I'm thinking about it, is that there is going to be 3 posters available on this particular campaign. There's going to be that cover. The poster will be without the trade dress. Same here. This cover, which was actually, hold on. Hold up. Need to do this proper. So just sharing a tab. There we go. This cover will also be available as a poster without the trade dress, as I mentioned. This, for those who don't know, is what I'm calling the retail cover for Englewood Book 1. The wraparound is never being printed again as a comic book. And the whatchamacallit. Sorry, I looked at the chat and it distracted me. Ultimate Agent, I don't know what stream you're talking about. You're talking about Mahler shit again. I'm gonna start making fun of you. But anyway, I consider this to be the retail cover, meaning that eventually Englewood will be in stores, and this will be the cover we use. The wraparound cover was exclusive to Indiegogo backers of the first campaign. So those of you who backed that first campaign, you hold on to that cover, like seriously. And if I sign it, like there actually exist 0 signed covers of that cover in like at all. Like I have not signed any of them. Even I have a box full, well, not a box full, but I've got about 6 or 7 of the floppies, the individual issues of issue 1. Those have a special purpose. So, but anywho, this will be the second poster. The third one, if I can find it. Here we go. It's right here. This one, I'm talking about Angels Awakening earlier. This is done by the Angels Awakening artist, Bogdan Rozea. This right here is the Saint versus Vlad Tepes. In the book, or in the Sleeveless universe, as we're now calling it, vampires exist. So do werewolves. So Piper, if you're watching, so do werewolves. Hint, hint. Man, I love this fucking poster. It's so badass looking. This one, though, this poster will only be available while the Indiegogo campaign is funding. Now, here's the thing. Because of the size of the book, this will... What about Witches, Angels, and Demons? So that's all in 3 nights. Oh, Where I Ate the Pineapple Pizza with Vaughn? That one's unlisted. I'll have to put it back up. That's on my main channel. But Bogdan is working very hard with me. Not saying that he didn't with Daniel. He did. But I am putting this young man through the ringer when it comes to... Because I am anal about how good the art in my books looks. And if there's something that needs working, I'll be like, hey, let's do this, you know. Needless to say, this is good stuff. This is fucking awesome. So this poster will only be available during the course of the funding. If you miss out on it and the book goes in demand, you will not be able to get this poster. So it's very exclusive to you guys. Another thing that I plan on doing, if we hit 30K, so the book will be the funding that I need to make Englewood. So, and I'll be honest with you guys about this, because I feel like I need to be straight up. I am actually, hold on one second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab a few things, and when I come back, I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about Englewood Book 1. Or Englewood Book 2. I have returned. So, let's talk a few more things about Englewood. I don't need that up. About Englewood Book 1 or Book 2. We need to hit 15K to make the book happen. Reason being is that, you know, I want to pay my guys a good wage. I also will freely admit, Sleeveless Comics as a business has hit funding the exact amount we need every single time. We haven't made big profits, though. And the thing about making big profit, the reason that you've got guys like Ethan Van Sciver and John Malin and stuff like that, they're able to invest in all these other things, is they've got extra profit to do so. We don't. We're not there yet. This business is still growing. So for the foreseeable future, campaigns are going to need about $15,000 to really make it happen. Because what I am doing is I'm hiring really good artists and good colorists. I'm pushing them to put in their best work, and to do so, you know, you have to pay a good wage. So that is a big part of it. But on top of that, the print quality that we use is expensive. But then again, I want my comic books to look better than everybody else's. You know, this book right here, Englewood Book 1, was a great start. You know, glossy beautifulness. That costs a lot of money. Same thing with 3 Nights, 4 Days. Satin beautifulness. So we got to make it happen. We're going to make it happen fast, so that we can make the book happen. Because this is the thing. We are crowdfunding because we have to crowdfund. Basically, it's not a storefront. It's not. It's nothing like that. I admire the people who have managed to make enough money to where they can just use Indiegogo as a storefront. I'm not there yet. So the basic idea is that we're doing these things so that we're doing things the way we are because you're making basically each book. You guys are making the books exist. You know, not anybody else. You guys, the fans. That's why the brand is called Sleeveless Comics. I was called the Sleeveless One by people because people noticed I never wear sleeves. You know, and I'm just like, man, that would be a great brand name. Let's do it because the fans love it. So you guys make these dreams happen. And I want to be frank with you guys about how much it's going to run. But I am going to do something for those of you out there. What we're going to start doing special for every campaign now, from here on in, is we're going to have the evangelist bonus. So the evangelist bonus is for people who go out there and get referrals for us. Even 5 referrals goes a long way. So what I'm going to do is the top 5 people who refer for Englewood Book 2, I'm going to sign one of these original floppies, the ones that you're never going to find anywhere else ever again, with the wraparound cover, the first wraparound cover in Comicsgate, which, again, for the movements, again, I'm a little ahead of the curve, guys. But I will sign these. So to the top 5 people who get the most referrals, you will get one of these signed, bagged and boarded. Not this one, because I've got my fingerprints all over it. But this is my demo copy. But I will sign one of these and send it to you on my own dollar. So that is something to keep in mind. So what's a referral? Asks Angry Green Boss in the chat. A referral is basically you go to Indiegogo. I'll show you guys how to do it. So I actually didn't get one set up for the Cryptidnals tonight. I probably should have. I usually do. I don't want to go to Instagram and Gundam to post right now. Basically, what I do. That's like all my Instagram is for, is like gun plus shit. So let's say that you wanted to. 3 Nights isn't open anymore, but let's say you wanted to, like when it was open. What you would do, you'd come here to Indiegogo, and if you click right here where it says link, this will generate a link for you. This right here is your referral link. It's for your IP. So you're going to want to do it from the computer that you want it from. You're going to hold on to this link. This is one you're going to share on Twitter and so on and so forth. So now the qualifier is you have to get at least 5 referrals or more to qualify for the contest. So but we're going to do that every time. And the 3 Nights, 4 Days is not in demand. No, it's sold. Like we're not opening that campaign again. It's done. It's printed. It's good. It's being fulfilled. You know, we don't continue to sell during fulfillment because we don't want to add a bunch of extra people. You know, basically you got to wait till the next book comes out. That's what the closeout stream was for. We're closing out. Like we're done. So needless to say, there will be bonuses for people, you know. Maybe next time I will, for what little overprint we have on maybe the Virgin covers for 3 Nights. Maybe I'll sign a few of these. Yeah. So Angry Green Boss is giving me a glowing review for 3 Nights in the chat, which is always good. So that is basically the short of that. Englewood Book 2, keep an eye out for that. If you haven't signed up for the mailing list already, the link is in the description. Haven't backed the Cryptidnals yet. What the fuck are you here for? You haven't backed that yet, back that as well. I'm super excited for what those guys are going to be doing. Once I get paid next week, I'm going to go ahead and back that book as well. Because I love what those guys are doing. I love those dudes too. Like they're great. They're at 11,435. Let's try to get them to 12K. Seriously, let's get them to 12K. If you enjoyed the book, looking at it during the course of the show, go ahead and share it on Twitter as well. You know, get some referrals there. You know, people love seeing those. I know I do. So, with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and take off for the evening. Got some stuff to do around the house. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. It was great having. I want to thank the guys from 656 being here. Return of the Fly, man. I'm going to take off for the evening. I got some writing to do. Got some other stuff to do. Last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is I'm just going to say this. The book, the Englewood Peregrine book and the mech book I'm doing with Xavier, it's not the only thing that I'm doing with the Reconstruction universe. I'll see you guys next time.